Welcome my dear student friends. Today we are going to learning the chapter 1 which I didn't explain till now. So this is also one of our important chapter, yet it does not ask any question, but there may be a chance of asking some of our questions from this chapter. Okay, so what is the chapter? Introduction to problem solving. Let me see this. Yes. So what we are going to be solving in this, we are showing here. Okay. So what is the first chapter? Introduction to problem solving techniques. Yes. Let us come to the introduction part. As we know, a computer is very powerful and versatile machine capable of performing a multitude of different tasks, yet it has no intelligent or thinking power. So if you observe, your computer is a very different machine. Versatile means it is having a huge different capabilities, and it will perform a very powerful and various kinds of a task, but it doesn't has intelligent or thinking power. Suppose if a computer has intelligence or thinking power, then what happens? I think most of you have seen Rajnikant's Robo movie, right? So if you have learned that if we give the intelligence to the machine, then what happens? It will destroy the entire whole world, right? So that is why even though this technique is in progress, we are not utilizing that. Why? Because machine will causes a harms to the human. Okay, so yet we are treating your computer doesn't have thinking power as well as intelligence. The intelligence code of a computer is 0 IQ. The intelligence quotation is 0 because as we know the drawbacks of if we provide the intelligence as well as the thinking power, a computer performs many tasks exactly in the same manner as it told to do. So computer will do according to you whatever the task you are providing. For example, you are using your smartphone, right? So most of you are doing some task in that smartphone. Smartphone is also one kind of a computer. By using that, you are performing some tasks. Suppose if you are interested in listening the music, you are operating that, right? You are touching that. So when you touch that song, whether that song is played or some other song is playing, if some other song is playing means your computer is disobeying your orders. Got it? If it is playing only your song means it is performing whatever the task you are giving, and that job will perform in a linear fashion. Linear means in a sequential manner. This places responsibility on the user to instruct the computer in a correct and precise manner so that machine is able to perform the required job in a proper way. So it is the user one who uses the computer. So almost your smartphone is also one of a kind of a computer, handheld computer devices. Okay, so through that handheld, what you can do, you can perform, I can't say you can perform 100% of a work, but till to 92 to 95% of your job you can be finished by using your computer, your smartphones. Okay, handheld devices. Okay, so it will act according to the instruction you are giving to the computer. A wrong or ambitious instruction may sometimes provide disturbance. Suppose if you have provided the wrong instruction or wrong sequence, then what happens? It will causes some uh, improper outputs. Destroys disasters means some of our wrong outputs, or it may be data lost. Okay. For example, let me take. I do not know how many of you are performing online transactions. Suppose if you want to add currency to your mobile, whether you are going manual system. Manual system means you are going to the you're going to the retailer or some of our shops and asking to recharge your mobile. I don't think nowadays you are having Google Pay apps as well as your Beam apps, and a lot of apps are available. Through that apps, what you are doing, you are recharging uh, your recharging facilities, right? That is a one of a task. While doing the transaction, please observe here, while doing that transaction, if you enter improper OTP or improper password, then sometimes it may causes your data loss. For example, while transmitting your data from the bank to the retailer, if anything is happened in the net, then it may causes severe problem between you and your retailer. Got it? So likewise, something is happens, that is because of wrong instructions, or sometimes it is a network faults also. As you are blessed because you are using these kinds of a facility nowadays. Okay, so this is because of the growth in computer. In order to instruct a computer correctly, the user must have a clear understanding of the problem to be solved. So whatever the task you are giving to the computer, you must give correct instruction. If you give the correct instruction, then problem will be solved rightly. If you don't give the correct instructions, the problem may vary. Okay, apart from this, you should be able to develop a method in the form of series of sequential steps to solve it. So to do a task, we have to follow a certain methods. By following that methods, it has to be follow in linear step fashion. Sequential steps means continuous steps, right, to solve that problem. For example, let me take one example. If you want to write the examination of sorry, if you want to take admissions, then what you are doing, you are doing something, right? What is the procedure you are following? You are coming to the college office and they are collecting some applications and you filled that applications, right? You are following these sequence. Without submitting your application, can you come and sit in your class? It is not possible. Got it? So you are seeing these incidents in your films, but in general it is not possible. As you have seen these kinds of information in your Three Idiot films, right? Amir Khan is going sitting in whichever school, is simply wearing that college uniform or school uniform, and is going to be class and is sitting and listening the class. So that will be happen in the movies, but in real life it is not possible. Okay, because the faculty members know who is their students. Clear? So in the same sense, whenever a task is processing from the computer, whenever we are giving some instruction to the computer, we are following certain methods. That methods is a steps of sequences. For example, in the last class also, in the first or second class, I am not sure, already we have discussed, you know, how many of you know the preparation of tea, right? So as you know, what is the steps to be followed for the preparation of a tea? So what are the steps? You just revive it. Okay, if you revive that, you came to know how to prepare a tea. If you don't know the steps and methods to follow, then it becomes a very difficult to prepare a tea or coffee. Got it? Once the problem is well defined, for example, I am saying here, please observe here, you do not have milk, you do not have a requirement milk. Without milk, can you prepare the tea? Can we? No, right? Is there any alternate for the milk? Maybe you will find, right? Yes, you have to find. Got it? So likewise, whenever you are preparing a tea, you are following several steps. As you know, what is the step? So you have to turn on the gas stove, you have to light the gas, and you have to put the vessel, and you have to pour the water, you have to pour the milk, you have to pour the tea powder, and you have to use some old cloths, right? Whenever it comes to the stir, you have to stir it with a containers, right? So as you know, if you follow these steps, then that problem will be solved. In the same sense, whenever you are doing a task by using the computer, you should know what is the job you are performing, which job you are performing. So according to that job, how it has to be evaluated. Got it? Yes. Once the problem is well defined and a method of solving it is developed, then instruction the computer to solve the problem becomes relatively easier task. Once the problem is well defined, as you know what you have to supposed to do, then method of solving it is developed. You also find some solution of solving that task. Then instruction the computer to solve the problem become relatively easier task. right? By giving the instruction to the computer to solve that problem is very easier. But all the problems are not solved by the computer. Don't think your personal problem doesn't solve. Okay, it will solve only some calculation parts, only some development parts, only some compiler parts. Okay, thus before attempt to write a computer program to solve a given problem. So if you are writing a program to a computer, then what you have to supposed to do, you have to solve in a traditional way. For example, let me give a general example. Okay, if you are building in a house, we should take the plan. Why we have to take the plans? According to the plan we have to construct the house, right? So without taking that proper plan, can we build? No, it is not possible. If you try to build according to your requirement, it won't comes. Got it? Yes. So likewise, whenever you do the programs with the computer, before that you should know what is the output you are going to be get, right? Then how to solve those problems, then how to solve the problems. So for solving that problems only, we are using some techniques. It is necessary to formulate or define the problem in a precise manner. So that is why we are specifying that what is your problem. Okay, now just understand this concept. As we know, language, so language is a medium, right? By using that medium, what we are doing, we are communicating with each other, right? So as we have defined, computer or a machine knows only machinery language, that is a binary language, which is called zeros and ones, right? So whether we can understand zeros and ones? No. As a programmer we can now understand, but the end user, he doesn't know how it works. But most of your house, you are having a switchboard, right? The switchboard consists of a switches. These switches will act according to two. It is also a machine, right? It is also act according to two cases. That is zeros and ones. That is on and off. Zero indicates off. One indicates on. Whenever you turn on your switch, your power will supply. Then how it is happens? All that instruction has been coded. Where we have coded in that box. How we have coded that you are learning. That you are learning now. Okay. So once the problem is defined, the steps required to solve it must be stated clearly in the required order. Whenever you came to know the problem, if you define the problem, you must identify the steps to solve that problem. Okay. For example, let us take, you have written your PUC exam. Without returning the PUC exam, can we take you admission? No, right? It is not possible. Got it? So that is why you should know what is your problem and what are the steps required to solve that problem. Okay, it must be stated clearly in the required order. Also you should know what is your problem and what are the steps to be followed to solve that problem, and also you have to well define the steps to solve that problem also. Okay, clear? In life you are getting so many problems, then you have to sort it out. For example, let us see, I will say a simple example. So in your childhood you did LKG UKG, right? After the LKG you are coming to the upper primary. After the upper primary, secondary higher, right? So 5th to 10th. After the 5th to 10th, PUC afterwards degree afterwards PG afterwards postdoctoral, right? So likewise, every time some of the requirements are coming, and you should decide what is your problem and how to solve your problem. Okay, so in the same sense, whenever you are using the computer, you are giving some task, and before giving that task, you should know what is your problem and how to solve a problem. Okay, if you know what it is, how it is, why it is. If you think in this manner, why it is, what it is, how it is, if you think in this manner, every problem will solve. Why it has come, what makes it has to come, right? For example, we are now suffering as a corona, so we are thinking like that, right? What is the corona? We know. Why the corona? We know, right? Then how to solve that corona? We do not know. Yet we are taking the precautions, right? Got it? Steps are still going on. At the some of the problems are not resolved. So we will resolve whenever we find some solution. Yet our doctors as well as some of our scientists are working on that. We know the problems, we are identified the solutions, and that solution has not developed within a single day. Please observe here. These solutions has not developed within a single day, but precisely it is following in a sequential fashion. It will take a long time. Got it? But if you want to perform some business applications as well as engineering applications, then you are going to be using your machines as a computers in your working environment. Why? Your task will become very efficient. For example, I will give a simple solution. Right. In this corona situation, none of us has went for the retailers to pay the bills and everything. Right. Everyone is bill the bills through online. Online system they are billing. They are paying their bills. For example, electricity bill they are paying online, and for your mobile recharge you are paying online. For your TV recharges you are paying online. Right. So all this is because of some sort of problems we earlier we have find, and we have also find the steps to solve that problems. Okay, so that is why now we are enjoying that benefits. Okay, in the same sense, these applications means whatever the software you are developing, that is very much essential for this business world. In communication world, it must be required because software plays a prominent role, and once the one successful software makes you a millionaire, right? So hence we will find a lot of softwares. We require a lot of softwares, and we want to make the hardwares to work. So that is why we have to identify the problem, and also we have to identify the solutions. While identifying the solutions, we have to think whether that solution is work or not. Okay, clear? Yes. I hope you have understood this concept, right? For example, I'm considering as the boys side. Whenever you go for a salon shop, you will ask for some watermelon cutting, right? I do not know what is that. Some step cuttings, what are the various types of styles you are taking, right? Before that you have to know what it happens, right? If you do not know, then if you try simply try it, then what happens? A new cutting will come, right? You should know what is your problem, and you should know how it should be solved. Okay, I'm just giving it as a general example. Okay, don't consider it likewise. In the same sense, in the machine also we are going to be solving the problems, but it requires a lot of techniques to solve that problems. Okay, let us see first one, procedures. So procedures, steps involved in problem solving. Whenever you came to know the problem, for example, if you know addition of two numbers, right? As we know, as we have done, right? If you know addition of two numbers, then what we have to supposed to do? We know how to do the addition of two numbers, right? Suppose if I ask you how to solve housing problem, loan problems, as a commerce student you can give that. So I have invested this much, I have debited this much, and you are maintaining those things, right? If you are the commerce student, then you are the wonderful student, really. Because if you are coming in a POC, if you studied as a commerce, if you coming as a taking as a computers, means you will create a magic with the softwares. Because as you know what exactly you have learned in your commerce, crediting and debiting, right? Here also what we are doing, crediting and debiting. Crediting means adding, additions, summations, and debiting means subtractions. Almost these works are very important. So whenever you are solving the problems, we have to follow certain procedures. Let us see what are the procedures we have to follow. A computer cannot solve a problem on its own. Here it is suggesting your computer doesn't solve a problem on its own. One has to provide a step-by-step solution of the problem to the computer. So if you want to solve the problem, we have to give step-by-step solution to the computer. If you give only the step-by-step solution to the computer, then that problem will be solved. In fact, the task of a problem solving is not that of the computer. Problem solving is not of that computer. Then whose role it is? Its role is of programmers. Okay, it is the programmer who has to write down the solution to the problem in terms of simple operation which the computer can understand and execute. So computer doesn't do whatever the instruction, whatever the programmer, right? Like Dennis Ritchie. Because of Dennis Ritchie, today we are seeing this kinds of a computer system with various kinds of applications, and we are making the usage of that application, but we do not know how to write that application. Now you, the BCA student, you can learn those concepts and you can develop your own applications. Okay, yes, it is the programmer means who has to write down the solution to the problem in terms of simple operations in which the computer can understand and execute. Okay, so likewise, some of the technicians, some of the specialized persons, these specialized persons are saying as in a programmers, they came to know how it works. If you are a science student, you have learned some of practicals, right? In the practicals, you have done some gate changing, right? LED gates, I think so. If you are using in the physics, you have done resonance, right? Got it? So likewise, you are identifying the problem and you are giving the solution to that problems. In the same sense, if you want to develop a software, first you should know what is your problem. Okay? For example, just think of your parents. Your parents are doing some business. They require one application. Okay? They require some application. Got it? If you are the good programmer, then you can develop that application and that application can be make the usage of your business. Got it? So in order to solve a problem by the computer, one has to pass through certain stages or steps. So we have to pass certain stages or steps they are. So if I want to solve any problem in a computer, we should follow these are the necessary steps. Okay, let us see what is that. First, understanding the problem. First, you have to understand the problem. Next, analyze the problem. Next, you have to make an analysis of your problem, and next, developing the solution. Next, you are going to developing the solution of your problem. Next, fourth point is coding and implementation. I'm giving general example. For example, if you want to do your own business after your course, after your post graduation, let us think. Okay, you want to do a self-employment job. Self-employment job means you can thinking which job is suitable. Then you are understanding the problem, right? Which job? For example, let us think a shop, a grocery shop. You just understand. Okay, then you will understand the real problem. What are the requirements needed for that grocery shop? Okay, and you must require a building, and you have to need some suppliers, and you must be purchase it for a lesser MRP, and you have to sell it for profit. Clear? So these are the problems, understanding the real world problems, right? In the same sense, whenever you are doing the computer problems, you have to understand the problem and next analyze the problem what it is. Then you are developing the solution, and after the solution only you are coding and implementation. You are writing the code. Coding means whatever the program you are typing, that is the coding, and you have to implement, you have to develop it. Okay, let me see. First point is understanding the problem. Here we try to understand the problem to be solved in total. So we want to understanding the problem to be solved in totally. Before with the next stage or step, we should be absolutely sure about the objective of the given problem. For example, now we are still manipulating. Please observe. I'm giving a one problem to you. This is a one problem. Okay. You have seen you are in your PU college also. So most of the faculties are asking you your attendance, right? They will call you, you will respond. This is the problem. Then what is the solution you will give for this problem? Just think of it. Okay. So I have to take your attendance. So still I am maintaining the book and so on. Instead of a book and so on, is there any possibilities of taking the attendance without calling you? Okay, yes, some of the techniques are there, still it is going on, still it is in implementation part, as we are using CCTV, right? In your CCTV it will captures, as the faculty need not to call your attendance, it has to capture the faces available in the class throughout the hour. After the hour it has to take your attendance. So this is the one problem and one solution. Okay, this is the solution is developed in somewhere else, and somewhere else it is still developing. Okay, yes, let me understand this problem. Okay, analyzing the problem, then I know the problem. So how to take the attendance without calling your name, without using the pen, without using the attendance sheet, right? So this has to be taken care by your computer system. Then I have identified the problem and I have analyzed. So I am having CC camera. So through from that CC camera I have to capture all the images of a particular subject in particular time. These are the analysis. Now you have identified this solution. Now you have to write the code for this problem. Correct? Clear? So in the same sense, you just think of it, why it is, what it is, and how it is. If any problem comes, you just think of it, why it is, what it is, and how it is. Got it? If you think in this manner, then you will become a good programmer. Got it? Yes. Now let us see the understanding the problem. Here we try to understand the problem to be solved in totally. We have to understand the problem to be solved in totally. Okay. Before with the next stage or steps, we should be absolutely sure about the objective of the given problem. You should know what is the objective of the problem. As I said, so what is the objective of my problem? To capture the attendance. So to do this capture of attendance without calling the student name, then how it is possible? It is possible through that, right? Let us go to the second step. What is the second step? Analyzing the problem. Now I am analyzing how to do this problem. After understanding thoroughly the problem to be solved, we look different ways of solving the problem and evaluate each of these methods. Okay, so we don't depend upon only one single idea, right? I have taken that only one CC camera, right? CC camera for my problem. I am not supposed to fix only for that one single solution. I have to identify various different solution, right? So what are the different solution I can make? Got it? The idea here is to search an appropriate solution to the problem under consideration. So one of a solution we got that it is a CCTV, and you can also take some other advantages also. Okay, some voice overs. For example, in your every classroom it is having voice overs, and that voice overs also I want to make the usage for your problem as a solution. The end result of this stage is a broad overview of the sequence of operation that are to be carried out to the solve the out to out to solve the given problem. So by the end of this analyzing this problem, then what happens? It gives a sequence of operations to be carried. What are the operations I have to be followed? Right. For example, you people are aware of your costumes, right? Now you will prepare a neat designs. Whenever you prepare the neat designs, you will give, I do not know, I am not a little fashioner, you know, some little fashioners, some will say apple cut, boot cut, and so on, right? So whenever you preferring that styles, you should know how it like looks, right? In the same sense, while giving the analyzing the problem, while identifying the problem, you are analyzing the solutions, right? You are analyzing that problem. So if I make this kind, then how the solution will develop. If I made if I approach it like this, then what are the possibilities? Got it? Developing the solution. In third, you are developing the solution. Here the overview of the sequence of operation that was the result of analysis stage is expanded to form a detailed step-by-step solution to the problem under consideration. So whenever it comes to the developing the solution after analyzing your stitching styles, then you will come one analysis, right? Today you are seeing various fashion, right? Boot cut, what are, I do not know, just okay, apple cut or some text is there, right? I do not know, you should know very well, right? Among that you are picking one choice, right? You are picking one solution, right? You are having various solution according to your problem, and you are picking one solution and you are developing that solution. Okay, so while developing that solution, you should know step by step of your problem considerations. Okay, next one is coding and implementation. Later onwards, what you are doing, I'm some of the topic, some of the points I am incorporating with real world examples. Okay, so in the same sense, whatever the problem I'm identifying for the computations, I will first identifying the problem, second I'm analyzing that problem, third I have to develop the solution for that problem, and fourth I have to write the program and I have to test that program. Okay, got it? Coding and implementation. For example, you say your mobile, your smartphone will do correct calculations, right? Whether you have checked, if you have not checked, you just try to check. If it is given any errors, you can approach, right? So in your WhatsApp, some of you are using WhatsApp, some of you are using Facebook, right? In one of a person has identified that WhatsApp is leaking your data, right? So then WhatsApp company has paid him a huge amount. Got it? It has happened in the 3-4 years back. Then at that time we become a very popular. He has given the drawbacks of WhatsApp, and the drawbacks now it has been resolved. Got it? The last stage of the problem solving is the conversion of the detailed sequence of operation into a language that the computer can understand. Now I came to know what is a problem, how to solve that problem, and how to develop the solution. Now the next part is I want to make the usage of that solution with the computer. Then I have to write the computer instructions. Okay, so that is the last stage of the problem solving, the conversion of the detailed sequence operation into a language that the computer can understand. Here each step is converted to its equivalent instruction or instruction in the computer language that has been chosen for implementation. So here whatever the each steps is converted into its equivalent instructions or instructions in the computer language that has been chosen for the implementation. For example, till now you have done so many, you have listened so many programs, right? Now my question is how to do a addition of two numbers in your C program. So now you will say first you have to write hash include stdio.h. Next you will write hash include conio.h. Next you will write void main. Right. Afterwards open curly brace and closing curly brace. You are declaring the variables and you are deciding whether it is assignment method or it is interactive method. Assignment method means you are assigning the value to that variable. If it is interaction method means then you are using printf as well as scanf, right? Scanf to read the value from the keyboard, right? So likewise you are coding. After the coding, what you are doing, you are implementing that program and you are testing, right? We are testing whether that each instruction is working or not. Each instruction is working or not. Okay, now, so these are the steps. Please observe here. This is the new chapter which is revised in this current year. Okay, in the last year onwards it has revised. So please give more attention on algorithm and flowcharts. Here the algorithm and flowcharts are very essential, as you have learned this concept in your PUC 10th and 9th, right? As we know what is the definition of an algorithm: a set of sequential steps usually written in ordinary language to solve a given problem is called ordinary algorithm. The step-by-step procedure to solve a problem. What is the algorithm? The step-by-step procedure to solve a problem is called as algorithm. It may be possible to solve the problem in more than one ways, resulting in more than one algorithm. So your problem may be solved in more than one ways, resulting in more than one algorithm. So you may use many solutions. For example, to enter the Saint Mary's College, how many gates are exist? So there may be several gates. Through from that several gates, you can enter into the Saint Mary's College. Got it? That is my question. Okay. For example, let us see, to come to the Shirva, what are the different ways are available? Through from Kapu I can come, through from Dalman I can come, through from Katpade I can come, through from Mudrangade I can come, right? Are you catching my point? So there are several solutions. Don't think only one solution. For your problems, there are several results, several solutions resulting more than one algorithm. It will result more than one algorithms. Okay. The choice of various algorithms depends on the factors like reliability, accuracy, and easy to modify. Then, whenever you are using the various algorithms, that various algorithm factors must be supposed to support reliability. What do you mean by reliability? Trustiness. It has to give that trust. Some of the apps are available in your Google Play Store. If you try to install, it may sometimes get struck, then it is not reliability. You can't trust it. Got it? And accuracy. It has to always supposed to give the correct value. How many times if you execute, it has to suppose to give the correct value only. That is called as an accuracy and easy to modify. So every algorithm's factors is, one is reliability, and second one is accuracy, and third one is modify, easy to modify. Okay, the most important factor in the choice of algorithm is time requirement to execute it after writing code in high level language with the help of computer. And one of our important factor whenever you are choosing this algorithm is time requirement to execute. You have developed a program, right? That has to be supposed to work within a fraction of second. It is not supposed to take 1 month, 1 week, or 1 year. If it is take like that, then your time requirement to execute of that program is failure. Okay, after writing code in high level language with the help of a computer, you are writing the high level language code means you are making the usage of C program, C++, Java, Python. Okay, all these are the high level languages. By using these high level languages, you are making the usage of that machine. Got it? The algorithm which will need the least time when executed is considered the best. Whatever the result it is given within a least time is the considering as the best algorithm. Okay, that is the best algorithm. And what are the factors we have to supposed to see when you considering the algorithms? One is the reliability, second one is accuracy, and third one is easy to modify. And next one is it has to be take less time to get these informations. Okay, now we will see what are the steps involved in algorithm development. Okay, for example, as we know, various procedure of making the tea. Someone will follow, some different steps, someone will follow some different steps, right? I may follow like in my container I will pour all raw materials and I will boil it. Okay. But as a new beginner, now you are the some of our new beginner, then what you will do, you first place the vessel and next fill the water, fill the tea powder, right? Likewise you will do and we will do at, yeah, whatever it may be, the final result must be the same taste and it must be consumed within a less time, right? So that is the main intention. Okay, so what is algorithm? A step-by-step procedure to solve a problem is called as algorithm. Okay. Now, what are the steps involved in algorithm development? Let us see. An algorithm can be defined as a complete, unambiguous, finite number of logic steps for solving a specific problem. It is a complete solution or unambiguous. Unambiguous means it should not have any errors. Your algorithm must not have any errors. It also consists of a finite number of logical steps. It also consists of a finite set of finite number of logical steps. For what? Solving a specific problems. To solve specific problems, your algorithm must a complete one. It must not consist of any error and also consist of n number of logical steps. Okay, let us see step 1, what it specifies. Let us see what is the step 1. Identification of input. So in step 1 of algorithm, we have to identification of the input. For an algorithm, there are quantities to be supplied called input and these are fed externally. The input is to be identified first for any specified problem. In the first step, we have to suppose to identify the whatever the input we have to suppose to give. Okay, they are the main important quantities to be supplied called inputs and these are fed externally. Okay, let us see one general example. If you want to hold a grocery shop, then what you have to do, you must have a stock, you must have a materials is your first your input, right? If you don't have that materials, can you place it? No. The input is to be identified first for any specific problem. For any specific problem, we must first identify the specific first input of a problem. Okay. Now, second one, identification of output. If I give this input, what is the output I am getting? If I give this input, what is the output I am getting? From an algorithm, at least one quantity is produced called for any specified problem. So second one is I have to identification of output. I have to identify what output I can get. At least one quantity is produced. Okay, one of the result as must be produced. It must be given. And third one, identification the processing operation. So in the third step, we have to identify the processing operation. All the calculations to be performed in order to lead to output from the input are to be identified in an orderly manner. As we know, if I want to do the addition of two numbers, can I directly do? Yes. Without machines also we can do, right? Can you do can you do some area of a circle? No. Got it? Why? Because we require some machines, right? To machines to calculate. Okay. Even a commerce student without having in your POC commerce, without calculator, can you do that calculations? No. You're mentally or depend upon that calculator. Without the calculators, you do not know what is the summation, right? So in the same sense, we have to identify the processing operation. What operation I have to do? If I give the input, I have to identify the output. If I want to get the desired output, then I have to follow the identification of processing. Okay, I have to identify what is the operation I have to supposed to perform. Next, processing definiteness. The instruction composing the algorithm must be clear and there should not be any ambiguity in them. Then processing definite is the fourth step. Whenever the instruction composing the algorithm, that must be very clear and there should not be any errors in there. Okay, got it? Yes, it should not consist of any errors. Right. And next one, processing finiteness. So it also consists of a processing finiteness. If we go through the algorithm, then for all cases the algorithm should terminate after a finite number of steps. If you are using that algorithm, then for all the cases, whatever the input, whatever the output, whatever the process you are giving, in all the cases it has to be executed finitely. Okay, without giving any ambiguous, it has to suppose to run finite number of steps. Within that finite number of steps, it has to finish. Got it? For example, let us see, some of you have come to your college through from the bus. Okay, if the bus is not stopped in your appropriate stop, then you can say it is a appropriate processing finiteness. No. Got it? Clear? In the same sense, likewise, whenever you are writing the program, you should know what is your input and what you should know your output, and how to process that input and output, input and processing unit, and also you have to define the error freeness, right? And if you follow this finiteness, you are getting the processing effectiveness. That is the step 6. The instruction in the algorithm must be sufficiently basic, and in practice they can be carried out easily. Whatever the instruction in the algorithm you have specified must be sufficient basic, and in practice they can be carries out easily. So by using this you can easily carry out. Okay, so don't take serious. It is some of our points are important. You should know what is the definition of an algorithm, right? And what are the problems, what are the procedures you are following to solve the problems. Likewise ask, till now it has not asked, maybe in the next for this semester for you, there may be a chance of asking these questions. Okay, yes, hope you understand this concept. We will continue in the next session.